And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Starting off with hazardous weather graphics out here for the Aleutians, actually the eastern Aleutians. High wind warning out for the eastern Aleutians for tomorrow for winds out of the north gusting to 75 miles per hour. And then a high wind watch here for the Alaska Peninsula, and that's for north winds also gusting to 75 miles per hour for the same time period for tomorrow, Friday into Friday night. And now a high wind warning out for Kodiak Island for east winds gusting to 75 miles an hour, and that's for Friday. And to the east here, we've got high wind warnings out also here for the Sitka area and Prince of Wales Island, as well as all of the southern southeast coast. And that's out for Saturday into Saturday evening for winds gusting to 60 miles per hour. And from there, looking at satellite imagery, we've got a front brought about half an inch of rain to portions of the southeast coast, mainly over the southern areas, had the heaviest amounts, lighter up to the north, and then lighter back along the North Gulf Coast here. That moisture shifting up into the Copper River Basin, cloudy skies moving into the Tanana Valley, with most of the moisture getting wrung out along the coast range there. Very light amounts up here in the interior. Areas of light snow up there along the Arctic coast and North Slope. A lot of clouds here over interior Alaska. And then farther to the south, we've got this low center tracking southeastward, coming in toward Unimak Island there, Unalaska Island, those areas, with the front pushing gusty winds and rain into the Alaska Peninsula here, all the way up to the Pribilof Islands, and very strong winds out of the west there as the center drops down. Adak and Atka both receiving gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Cold Bay had a southeast wind gust to 45 miles an hour, and winds gusting to 45 miles per hour also over the Pribilof Islands, with Cold Bay picking up about 3/4 of an inch of rain. And rolling this through again, you can see the system coming southeastward, that pushing this band of moisture southeastward as well. And then this area coming east, mostly to the east here at a slower rate. And some light rain already showing up on southern Kodiak Island ahead of this front, or southwest Kodiak Island. And just dry, clearing skies here as the snow showers shift off to the northeast from northern Cook Inlet. Seeing some sunshine this afternoon, dry conditions. And again, mostly rain here, Prince William Sound, North Gulf Coast, actually becoming pretty showery this afternoon, ending over the Kenai Peninsula, and areas of light snow up to the north there for the North Slope Arctic coast, and that coming down on those northerly winds through the Bering Strait. So Point Hope, Cape Lisburn seeing light snow, but Kivalina, clear skies with northeast winds there. And then Wales, Tin City, light snow all the way down to St. Lawrence Island. And here's this low center just south of the Kenai Peninsula, and the front bringing the rain into the southeast coast tonight, or today for tonight. That system will just break up into a trough, and rain changes to showers, becoming scattered after midnight for the Panhandle, and then ending toward morning. And moisture continues here for the North Gulf Coast. Actually increasing southeast flow pulls more moisture in. So after a little bit of a let up this evening early, it'll increase again later this evening, overnight tonight, as those southeast winds pick up. And definitely heavy wind and rain moving into Kodiak Island, Bristol Bay area, and the low center right over the Alaska Peninsula. So winds will be at least light there for a short time, and or lighter for a short time, lighter by comparison to what they'll be here over the central Aleutians, eventually into the eastern Aleutians. And then for tomorrow, that low center drops south of the peninsula there. So that's when the north winds will begin to gust to 75 miles an hour, mostly west of Nelson Lagoon there. And of course, the eastern Aleutians, high wind warning, gusts 75 out of the north with rain, becoming scattered showers with lighter winds, but still pretty gusty here for the central Aleutian areas, becoming much lighter out toward Chimney-Attu under high pressure. And strong north winds extend all the way up in toward the Bering Strait, where light snow continues, St. Lawrence Island, and then up into the western and central Arctic coast and North Slope areas. A fair day tomorrow over the interior, with mostly dry conditions and quite a few breaks in the overcast. And the southeast coast, at least partly sunny early on, otherwise increasing clouds and wind in the afternoon, with the precipitation holding off until late Friday, early Saturday morning. That's when the high wind warnings are out in those areas there for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with rain heavy at times pushing in, and pretty good shot of rain for tomorrow night and Saturday. As you can see, this front lifts northward, and the low center develops in the western Susitna Valley there near the Alaska Range. So that puts a pretty good gradient for gusty southeast winds, maybe up to 60 miles an hour here for the passes of the mountains of south central Alaska through the mountain passes out of the east and southeast. And lighter winds, dry conditions, Kodiak Island, still very windy here over the Alaska Peninsula and the eastern Aleutian areas, and then the colder air coming southward. And so farther north you go, the better chance of seeing this precipitation, light precipitation in the form of snow, but very strong winds here through the central interior, especially from the Kobuk, Koyukuk valleys into the Yukon Flats and through the passes of the Brooks Range. Strong northeast winds there. An area of snow tomorrow night over the north central interior here kind of retreats back to the north side of the Alaska Range there. So the north slope, western Arctic coast, periods of snow up in that area. And moving on to lows for tonight, 10 to 20 here for the Brooks Range, and in the 20s for the North Slope Arctic Coast. In the 20s here in the central interior, lower to mid 30s, south central Alaska, and mid 30s for Bristol Bay, Kodiak Island, upper 30s to lower 40s for the Panhandle, right around 40 for the Aleutians. Highs for tomorrow, 40s for the Aleutian chain there, upper 40s for the Alaska Peninsula, near 50 in Kodiak Island to Homer, and in the 40s, south central Alaska, and highs up to upper 30s to lower 40s for the central interior, cooling back to the 20s for the Brooks Range and lower 30s for the Arctic coast, and highs in the lower to mid 50s for the Panhandle. Lows 40s for the southeast coast and right around 40 for the North Gulf Coast area, as well as south central Alaska, and cooling into the 20s and 30s central interior. Teens again for the I think I went backwards there. Yes, there we go. Oh, no, I didn't. There's Saturday morning lows, about the same like tomorrow morning up here in the north. And then the afternoon highs, lower 40s for Saturday afternoon, the Tanana Valley there around Fairbanks, the warmest spot, 43. 20s to near 30 for the Brooks Range, lower 30s again for the Arctic coast, and highs upper 40s to lower 50s here, south central Alaska, near 50 in Kodiak Island. And starting to push 60 down there around Craig and Klawock in the southern Panhandle. Oh boy.